Hello everyone, this is Jon Bernys talking to you all, and I'm just here hopefully educating whoever watching about some subtleties, some very subtle techniques you can do on the orchestra chimes. And of course there's a variety of different kinds of chimes. Wind chimes, there's the single bell chime. This right here, the sort of piano-esque chromatic one that's on a wooden top like that. These particular chimes are called Mark Tree chimes, named after Mark Stevens, who invented it. And I think there's a very surprising element to this instrument, which is just how young it is historically. You would think an instrument like this that's used this often in orchestras and high school orchestras and college orchestras would be way embedded in the Western canon hundreds of years ago, maybe in the Baroque era. But this instrument was only invented and patented in 1967 by Mark Stevens. So this instrument is less than 100 years old. It's less than 60 years old. It's 58 years old now. So, the instrument is largely very intuitive. There's actually, in the grand scheme of things, not much technique to it at all. Of course, the majority of the time it's used, it's just for a glissando. You know, whether it's a down glissando, or a ascending glissando. So, two particular techniques I want to show you is something I like to call the wave technique and something called the reverse fan stroke, which is actually a guitar technique that I will apply to this instrument. So the wave technique. I call it the wave technique because when I hear the chimes doing this technique, it reminds me a lot of radio frequency counters, of waves repeating itself, especially when we listen to hydrophones or astrophones and things like that. So it's when you strike the chimes, or at the very least very heavily glide it, it repeats itself. The exact sequence you play repeats itself over and over again. And then of course you can manipulate that by playing other parts of the chimes while it's happening. So of course I've already said it's a very, very easy intuitive instrument, so there's not much sophistication to this technique, but it's still kind of a cool trick I learned. And really the biggest key to doing it, so why don't I show you what it sounds like first. So that's what it sounds like. It's something that you hit and it goes on and on without you having to touch it or keep hitting it. And the only secret to doing this technique is by hitting the bottom of the chimes rather than the top of it. Most people in orchestras, generally it's the better idea to hit the top of the chimes, because it doesn't produce this technique. It doesn't keep clanging and clanging on and on. It just hits the notes whenever you have to hit it, and that's it. And that's, of course, I just showed it sounds like this. But notice when I hit the bottom of the chimes, it goes on a lot longer and longer, especially when I hit the lower register. It makes a bigger difference there. So we just did the technique right there. And really the biggest thing is to hit the bottom of the chimes and try striking it harder rather than gliding through it. So I'll show it to you a little bit one more time. And another way this can be manipulated is I can hit a section of the chimes doing that technique by hitting the bottom of it hard and having it repeat itself. And I can just gently glide around another half of the chimes, the higher register, and it produces a rather full sound. It starts to make it sound less and less like a specialty instrument that's just an accessory of the orchestra and maybe can take a more lead role. And that, I will do it for you a little bit. Sounds like this. So that's about the most elaborate thing you can do with this fun little technique. And the other technique I will show you that I've never seen someone on the chimes do before, and I will show it to you, is the reverse fan stroke on it. So most of my technique on the chimes is from stuff I've already learned on flamenco guitar. And I will show you what it sounds like on the guitar first, because that's where it came from, and then I will apply that to these chimes. So I have fortunately I don't have a nylon string at the moment, so I'll just use this, my acoustic here. So one of the most beautiful sounds you can possibly make on an acoustic guitar is the reverse fan stroke. It's a flamenco technique. So I'm just going to do a Jimi Hendrix A major chord with my thumb. And the reverse fan stroke on the guitar sounds like this. And the secret to that is to keep your fingers straight, which I didn't do because it's hard to do it without a guitar strap and while standing up. But that's sort of the secret, is to keep your fingers straight. It has such a beautiful psychedelic effect. And so to apply that to the chimes is, unlike the wave technique, for the reverse fan stroke, I do it the canonical, the correct way, which is striking the top of the chimes. The notes hardly hit back. When I hit the bottom, it repeats itself. So to do the reverse fan stroke on the chimes, I'm gonna hit a section of it, and I'd say after about 5 or 7 bells, I start my other finger, then my other finger, and then I go down and down the chime. Think of your fingers like they're doing a moonwalk. It looks a lot like your fingers are doing a moonwalk when you're doing it. So I'm going to do it slowly and then do it at normal speed. It almost sounds like there's more than one set of chimes playing. It's like the double chime effect where you can put a larger set of chimes behind this one so you can get a much more elaborate sound. And it's almost like you're doing that already on this right here, which this is a very simple, very non-sophisticated Mark Tree set. This only has 36 tones. It was not expensive at all. So this is a very, I like to reassure you that both of these techniques are very easily applicable on any set of chimes, not just very expensive ones. So now I'm going to do the reverse fan stroke at normal speed. One more time. One more time. So let's compare that to a normal glissando. Again. It's a lot slower and has a lot more character to it. So yeah, that's a gist of some basic chime subtleties that I've noticed, so that I can hopefully help you and help the world have a better chance at falling in love with this absolutely amazing, very simple but extremely beautiful instrument that has so much potential to it. And I'm seeing it. I'm barely putting it to effect still, but I've noticed, hopefully these subtleties will maybe even inspire you to find your own techniques that nobody else has seen on the tree mark. Why am I reversing the words? The Mark Tree chimes. I hope you enjoyed this little lesson, and hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are, because I know I am. And I'll see you on the other side. And as they say in Hawaiian, me ka mahalo, that means with gratitude. So, thank you.